So today we have Beth coming to taste mangoes, and Beth has an interesting history with mangoes, right? Maybe you could share that?
Well, I moved to Florida knowing that there would be more mangoes than I had had previously, and we kept driving by this place for a long time, and we would come at the wrong times, and finally we drove in one day and my life changed. And I couldn't believe how magical this piece of property was, and we tasted all these mangoes, and we went home with way more mangoes than we could possibly eat in a week until the next time that we could come back. And I started to come more often, and I was fascinated by the place, and I was fascinated by all the different mangoes.
Well, the thing that I have to interrupt you on this one, it seemed like it was like your second or third time, and I was mobbed. All of a sudden there was like all these people that wanted help, either checking out or information or whatever, and Beth is like, I've got this handled. Practically step aside, here I am. And she started taking bags and weighing them and everything, and basically she's been here ever since.
Yeah, I turned around to Chris, I'm like, I need change of a 20. She's like, who are you? But then what happened was, so I worked for an hour or so, and she sent me home with a bag of mangoes as a thank you. And I thought, oh, this is interesting.
Could get used to this.
So then I came back again and again. I helped, and I said, do you need any help? And she sent me home with mangoes, and that was about 8 years ago. She hasn't been able to get rid of me.
Yeah, we bought you off. We got you hooked.
And I think by now I've probably tried 50 varieties.
Yeah, it's probably about right.
Yeah. And I'm really lucky that I live nearby. And every time in the summer, when it gets to be 110 heat index, like today, I'm like, we have to move. We have to get out of here. And then I'm like, no, I cannot leave my mangoes. So they're really good. They're so good.
Beth, before you started shopping here for mangoes, what kind of mangoes did you taste? Did you know the names of them, or was it just whatever was at the grocery store?
Exactly. It was whatever was at the grocery store. So
soon after you started tasting our mangoes, you fell in love, right?
Yes. Glen was my first love. When you pick up a Glen and you smell it, it's the quintessential mango smell. It's that sweetness of the fruit that is completely irresistible. And for a long time, I only wanted Glen mangoes. You kept trying to give me other mangoes, and we'd freeze other mangoes, and they were all right, but I loved Glen for a few years, and then I decided that I needed to
branch out
and be brave. And now I love so many varieties. And I actually, when I'm here on Saturday, I really encourage the customers to try mangoes that they haven't tried before, because people get very attached to their one or two favorites. And then if it's the end of the season for their one or two favorites, they give me the sad face. I can't do the sad face. Just try another mango. Because there are so many varieties here, and they're all delicious. And the truth is, if it's ripe and it's in my hand, it is my favorite mango, because they're all so good.
So,
but I do have 3 favorites.
Okay,
right now.
Are these this year's favorites?
Yeah, this year's favorites are Seacrest, Ryan, and Dot. Dot has been a favorite for 2 years. Ryan has been on the top 10 list for a couple of years, and Seacrest was new to me this year. But I really loved those 3 this year.
Yeah, Seacrest was new to us all this year. It was the first year we had fruit, and we had a lot of it.
It was good.
That was great.
And Glen is still one of my favorites, but I really try to not be attached to the Glen mango. But it's really delicious. It's a really strong flavor. But the thing about Glen that I love the most is the aroma. So you could smell a Glen, and then somebody could give you another mango to taste, and you're like, oh, it's good. Yeah. Well, not every mango has that strong aroma.
Right. Yeah.
It's one of the strongest, is it? Are there others that have such a strong aroma?
Well, they're ones that I notice a lot, and then it really depends on, with some of them, if you've actually cut into the mango versus if you're smelling it from the outside and such. Anyway.
Anyway, there's a bowl of mangoes
There's
calling
a
our
bowl
name.
right here, and I feel like we should start on this work in front of us.
I agree.
And so, out of your favorites that you listed, none is represented here.
Well,
so
you have one of my top 10 though. I see Big Jim in there.
Yeah, Big Jim is in there. We had very few Big Jim.
I noticed.
But
What's that?
this is probably our last Julie.
Oh.
And we thought we picked our last Julie a month ago, and this was in the middle of a very dense area of the tree, and I did not see it. I have looked in that tree a lot. I did not see it. It was a lot easier to see when it was on the ground. So the bottom part of this fruit is bruised, but I think it's going to give us a very good example of tree-ripened Julie.
This is a real treat because for the first few years I never even got to taste one because there were hardly any available.
So there you are.
Thank
Slice
you.
number 1. And
Should I go ahead?
yeah, go right ahead. Yeah.
Really good. There are people that are huge Julie fans that come and they only want Julie. And then this year, I think for the first time you had Juliet.
Yeah, we had some last year too, but yeah.
There
we
were
had
just a few,
yeah.
right? And they're so happy because it tastes similar. And it's a really unique flavor. Julie and Juliet taste similar, but I don't recall that another mango tastes like them.
A little bit. Graham is a little similar too, but
I'm gonna nap them. It's really delicious. I would say as far as flavor groups go, I don't really know what the right words are to use. It's I think sometimes you describe mangoes as having a rich flavor. I think Julie has a rich flavor.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's not the strong fruity flavor. It's more
Yeah.
it's more complex. I
yeah,
didn't
it
think
is
I
very-
was going to use that word, but it really is because I can't.
It's simply
describe-
complex.
It's
no.
simply complex.
Yeah, it is a complex flavor. It's
so good.
Got a lot of the Indian flavors in it that are referred to as spice, and that's not like allspices, but
Right.
it's just that
Something.
there's a and yeah, it's one of those fruit that or mango varieties that when I taste it, it's just all of a sudden, I mean, I practically feel the flavors wash over me. It's just.
And where is this mango from?
It's from an island near Mauritius
Okay.
in the Indian Ocean. And I would say it, except for I don't speak French.
Okay. Because I know we have a particular group of customers that request this mango.
Yeah, it went from that island, which if I were to really not speak French well at all, it would be Le Rion.
Okay.
But anyway, it was taken to the Caribbean by what they call trading ships a long time ago. So it was actually introduced to Trinidad and Tobago and then later, I think, to Jamaica.
It's very juicy.
But yeah, it's a real pleasant mango.
I would say that on my list, this is what I'd say about Julie. I don't think it's on my top 10, but I would never turn one away because it's just sweet and delicious and unique. But what I would really want to do is save it for the people who only want a Julie mango because it has such a strong following that makes me want to love it more. But I just have a different flavor profile that I personally prefer, but it's so good.
Yeah, it is a really wonderful mango, and if you have grown up with this mango, then that is where your preferences are. I mean, you're really all the complex flavor just hits everything, very powerfully. And so, we get a lot of people, especially who have grown up in the Caribbean, that really, really want Julie, and it tastes like home. It's very nice mango for anybody, I think, but especially if you've grown up with it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's one of the things that has completely fascinated me about this farm is that there are different cultural groups who come requesting specific mangoes that, like you said, are familiar to them from their home. And that's what they grew up with. And you provide such an amazing experience for them because they could be thousands of miles away and they come and you give them this reminder of what it was like. It's really pretty special.
Well, what's also nice is that there are people who are focused on one variety of mango, and then they're like, oh, but I'll have this one and I'll try that one.
Exactly.
And pretty soon they're like in love with half of the mangoes, that are out there. It's,
for sure.
It is nice to have your roots with one mango, but then spread out a little bit.
Definitely. And that's been my mission this season, to try to encourage people to try the mangoes that they haven't tried before, so that because there's so much here.
So we're going to try 2 different levels of ripeness on this.
Is that coconut cream?
It is. So coconut cream.
Coconut cream was really in high demand the last couple of weeks. Thank you. Oh my God. This is so good.
Yeah, this is, I don't have to get this one, open that one up, because this one's perfect, I think.
It is. And I don't think that the coconut creams that I've tried in the last couple of weeks were as ripe as this. So now I know coconut cream should be a little bit more ripe than I would normally choose for it to be, because I personally don't prefer them too ripe, most mangoes, but this is one that I would definitely let go further. Am I supposed to give these to the dogs?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
You can
piling them up.
Pile them anywhere. Anyway, it is. It gets very, very sweet. When you eat it slightly underripe, it's not quite as sweet. And but very popular and definitely earns its name. Coconut flavor. And
this is really good. It's a really good mango. I have to say now, four favorites for the season. It's so good.
One sort of fun thing is that it's not animal proof, but they don't immediately go through the skin of this fruit. It's, the skin is sort of masks the scent or something, and so there are other varieties that sort of get lots of bites in them, but this is not. I mean, occasionally one will get a bite out of it, but
so that makes it even more special.
It's good if you're growing your own, because then you don't have to share as much with the wildlife. Okay, let's see what this one is.
Big Jim.
Oh, that was Big Jim.
Let's see. Levels of ripeness.
Yeah, we have 2, and they're not looking great. Sometimes they look better than this, but let's see.
I'm not afraid of those black marks. What is it called?
Big Jim.
No, the black stuff.
Big Jim spots.
So that's not the...
That's anthracnose.
Anthracnose. I'm not afraid of anthracnose.
I was always really fun to have in class.
Yes.
The teachers would get together and talk about me, I'm sure. That lunchroom was a buzz. Okay, so Big Jim. This is a seedling of Mulgoba. I guess I'll... And this one does have some anthracnose on it. but it's not going into the fruit very far.
Thank you.
And these fruit can actually get bigger than this. We didn't have very many to choose from this year. Just a few, because I cut that tree way back.
So Big Jim has been one of my favorites, like one of my top 10 since the very beginning, when I first tried one. It's not a strong, overpowering flavor, but it's really sweet and juicy and delicious. I mean, I don't know what to say it tastes like. Let me smell. It doesn't have a strong aroma, like maybe a Glen, but it's really a delicious mango. How would you describe this one as far as flavor profile?
I was catching a very familiar flavor and I couldn't place it.
Tangerine.
I'm going to ask our camera to see what the camera thinks. When in doubt, get the person behind the scenes.
It's fruity. It has a little hint of pineapple, but lots of like tropical fruit flavors, I think.
Maybe a little melony? Not the
Yeah, I
girl's
can
name
see
Melanie,
that.
but like melon.
There's kind of the finish is a little bit like honeydew, a good honeydew.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I agree with that.
So now you have to tell the camera because I'm not really in the video.
So what do you think about this flavor if you analyzed it?
I think it has a kind of a melon taste. I'm not sure, maybe combination of a honeydew or cantaloupe. There's just first I thought it might be tangerine, but I think it's more of a melon. Not that tangerine and melon are at all similar, but it was familiar and just trying to place it. Maybe more honeydew. It's really good. I know that's so helpful.
Honeydew with a little bit of orange juice.
Yeah. I can't argue with that. And you know I'd argue if I could. So good.
Now, Big Jim does have some fiber, but it's not stringy. It's just makes it a little bit firm. And yeah, it's a nice mango. I wish that we didn't get those spots this year, but we don't get that all the time. So hopefully next year will be a good year for it. Yeah, always a pleasure to eat a Big Jim. I should mention it's a Mulgoba seedling, and Mulgoba is a completely fiberless fruit and not quite as big in general, but there are some similar flavors between the two, and Big Jim is normally regular producer. Of course, when you cut back 95% of the tree, it doesn't produce as much the next year.
Oh, was that why we have hardly any? Because I keep looking for them. Okay.
But anyway, we got to taste a few today.
Big Jim. If you come to this farm, try to get a Big Jim.
Yeah, it's going to be a few years.
In a few years. It's going to take that long for him to grow back?
Well, and be happy in producing.
Okay.
So here is a little treat. I think this is the first fully ripened honey kiss.
I haven't never tried this one before.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first one that we've produced. I've top worked one of our trees, part of one of our trees, to honey kiss, and so it's one of the few small late season fruit. Now it would be bigger if I thinned the fruit, but I didn't do that.
It would be bigger if what?
This fruit would be bigger if I thinned the fruit from when it was developing. There are just a lot of little mangoes on this tree, and so anyway.
This tastes very familiar.
Okay, let's see. You're ahead of me on the tasting.
Sorry, I couldn't wait.
See, it's funny because that initial taste is like, I want to remember that. And so this, as I recall, is a cross between Kit and Gary.
It's the Gary.
So, I mean, I'm tasting the Kit and the Gary both sort of.
I don't remember what Kit tastes like.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a fresher flavor. How do I describe it? It's light. It's just fresh. It's like some of the mangoes are a richer flavor. What would be the opposite of richer?
Brighter, lighter?
Lighter. It's a good flavor. It's a lighter flavor. Mm-hmm. It's not intense at all. It's just real smooth, and it's simpler, mm-hmm. but it's delicious. It's really delicious.
Yeah, it's really enjoyable, and it's, as I said, one of the few small late season varieties. Most of the big fruit are late season, so that's.
I better try it again just to make sure I described
mm-hmm.
it properly.
So.
It's really sweet. It's delicious.
Okay, so one more slice of Honey Kiss here, and so we can figure out how to describe it.
There's something very familiar about it. It's a mild mango. It's sweet, it's juicy, it's delicious. It doesn't have a strong flavor. It might be really good if we were having some spicy Indian food, because it creates a bit of a balance.
I find there's a little break in my mango eating.
You ever have a break?
And then I take the first bite. The first part, like when it first hits my taste buds, it's like, wow. And then everything else is milder after that.
That's true, actually. I did have, initially there was a
burst of flavor, and then it was more mild after it awakened those taste buds, then it went into its subtle mode.
But then afterwards, I don't know, remember how we described the other mango as having a bit of a melon thing? Mm-hmm. The aftertaste of this is also a bit melony.
I think it has a little bit of a honey aftertaste. Certain
honey.
Kinds of honey.
It might have had something to do with its name. Several people have tasted that, but everybody tastes things differently, and
that's
so
for sure.
What matters is how you taste it.
I have really enjoyed all of these mangoes a lot. They're really delicious.
So one of the...
I won't turn down a Honey Kiss if I ever get to take one home.
But also one of the things that's a plus with a Honey Kiss is if you're buying mangoes to share with people, you can get, like 1 or 2 Honey Kiss and 1 or 2 something else. I mean, you can get more variety per pound and such, and so it makes a very attractive late season gift, and also it's a nice size for snacking and such. If I'm cutting up mangoes for a group, I want to cut up big mangoes because it goes more quickly. But if I'm eating one for myself, a small mango or a few different varieties of small mangoes looks good.
But we have a mango with breakfast every morning during the season, and with lunch every day during the season, and with dinner every day during the season. We love our mangoes in our house.
So got the final mango here.
I just have to add one thing.
Okay.
We love our mangoes so much that sometimes if we know someone's going to stop by, we hide the mangoes, because otherwise people ask for some, and I just realized that these people may see this YouTube video.
I was going to clue you in on that one.
It's doom.
Cat's out of the bag.
Cat's out of the bag. He'll come in now. Where are the mangoes?
Yeah.
I'm special. But I don't want to share my mangoes. Oh, now this is going to be such a treat. I'm so excited.
I know this. I've heard you tasted this before, and
I've been told.
You might have been impressed.
I love it, and I don't remember.
Oh my! So
I'm really
this
excited.
is got a soft spot on the bottom, so I'll try to cut to avoid that. But this is Carla.
How did Carla get her name?
I think it was as simple as she was in the C row and they were trying to think of a name that began with C, but I could be wrong with that. Let's just trim it down a little bit here. Hopefully that's good. I'll watch your face to see if I should cut out of a different part of the fruit.
Wow.
Okay, I guess we're in the right zone here.
So this is in the flavor profile that I love of the mango. And maybe you can help me with the words to describe it. It's got a stronger flavor. Would you say richer?
Yeah, it's
so good.
Definitely, Indian type flavors in it. And of course, near the skin is even richer and more flavorful.
I remember tasting it now. Because I specifically remember having the conversation about how amazing the flavor was close to the skin. I had forgotten. That's never happened before, of course. That is really good. And do we know the parentage?
It's like fiberless.
Yes, it is. I'll have more, thank you. Do your other tasters help themselves? Oh, good.
If you want to get just the right sample, you gotta help yourself.
Yeah. Carla is on my list. Okay, this has a bit of an orangey flavor. Never turn down a Carla mango.
It's pretty darn fiberless, and it's got this
That is a real treat.
bruise on the bottom.
So you have one tree?
I have part of one tree.
So did you graft it onto the...
Yeah, one of the
Hayden?
Haydens. Yes, I did.
This one?
One over.
And how much fruit do you anticipate it will produce next year? I'm planning ahead.
Oh my, this is the soft side. I have no idea. It is a fast grower from what I can tell. Yeah, this whole side is not a good one.
So, did you do a video on the Carla yet?
No, because we don't have enough information on it yet.
Gotcha. Is it one that you might be able to grow in a pot?
It's pretty big, so I don't think that it would be great in a pot, unless it were a really big pot. So Zill
That
80.
Carla is really good. What does that mean, a Zill?
Well, Zill 80.
Zill 80. I just had one yesterday.
Yeah, it's an old variety.
Yeah, it's delicious.
And it's probably accounts for some of the anthracnose on this. It's not too bad, actually. So, but there's one little piece waiting for you.
Thank you. Oh. Well, of the day so far, this is definitely my favorite.
So are you up for trying one more
I'm up
mango?
for trying.
Okay.
And, if it's not perfect, we can always top it off with one of the ones.
This is a little bit green still, so we're hoping that it has developed its flavors.
I'm going to do that first.
Okay.
I'm just very excited to try a new mango. I'm not one of those people that has kept a Excel spreadsheet on the mangoes I've tried, but I have some sort of a mental. I like it.
There's almost a pear flavor in this. Are you tasting that?
No.
No. Okay. My taste buds, not yours.
I like it. It's a simple flavor. It definitely, as you said, could be a little more ripe. But I like it. Towards the skin.
You want to try a new one?
Definitely tastes more peachy towards the skin. It's a good mango. It's it has a different taste. I can't say it tastes like anything else, and it does taste peachier towards the skin. There's something really delicious about it. It's a milder flavor, but it's different. It's a unique flavor. I like it. I like it a lot.
How about a cross between a peach and a pear? With the consistency of a slightly underripe nectarine.
I'm not tasting the pear so much. What we need to do is we need to have a plate of peaches, pears, nectarines.
We'll have to have, like, you know, whole string of people and say, okay, what flavor do you taste in this?
Do you have favorites today?
I do. And I would say that, well, of course, I enjoyed Carla. And I would say that the one that probably two that I enjoyed about the same level was Big Jim and Julie. And that's, you know, because I haven't had Julie for a while now and Big Jim for even longer. So that's probably part of it.
It is like, it's like seeing an old friend when mango season comes around again and you're like, whoa, there's this particular mango. There's definitely a experience of welcome back, my friend, you know.
So any thoughts from your side of the table here?
Well, which ones will we be able to see for the remainder of the season? Just the Honeykiss?
None of them.
None of them?
Yeah, the Honeykiss, yes.
Honeykiss, okay.
We'll have Honeykiss, and I think everything else, well, we might have a few Carla, but that's about it. We are suddenly running out of a lot of varieties of mangoes.
It's a different sort of a season.
Yeah, it's
unexpected, sad.
A little bit early, yeah.
But it's been wonderful. We've had some new varieties this season. And we've had a bumper crop of some that we haven't had before. Juliet, and then there was one other at the beginning of the season that we didn't usually get so many of. Oh, Madame Francis and the other Madame.
Blanc?
Yeah.
Yeah, Blanc was his first year since like 10 years ago.
Wow, that's
when
awesome.
I took out that tree, and then I got it going again. But anyway, so your favorites here?
My favorites were Carla first. It's really good. I like it a lot. Big Jim. And then coconut cream. And which was that one?
Juicy Peach.
Juicy Peach. And the other, and Julie and Honeykiss. I love them. They're just different. They're not the type of flavor that I'm mostly attracted to. And I don't know the words to describe that. Fruity, flavorful.
Well,
you know.
Yeah, that's good.
But it's really, the honest truth is that if Julie was the only mango here, I would be thrilled.
You would totally enjoy it.
Thrilled, because if it's, all the mangoes on this farm, if it's ripe and juicy and in my hand, it is my favorite, and that's really true. I'm just so happy to eat them.
Well, great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coming over and tasting
Super fun. Thank you so much. I love tasting mangoes. Thank you. I appreciate it.